Hello, and we are live. Welcome to NFL Monday. This is UK Colts fans. Again, my lack of organisational skills have left my co-host in the dry, so he's not with us at the minute. Hopefully he can come by. Hopefully we can get him in. Just bear with me 1 second while I make sure everything is up and running. To NFL Monday, this is UK Colts. We are up and running. Before we get into the video, I just want to talk about the great sponsor, which is Northern Summer Clothing, who has helped us all ends out with everything going on, yada, 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 all that jazz. Just keeps doing stuff for us, which is nice. Get great hats like this, great other clothing and stuff, and get it in for the New Year's. Why not? New year, new you. Try a new look. Getting into yesterday, disappointing and absolute horrible loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I've almost lost my voice from shouting at that game, so that's why I'm talking a bit nasally today. But what can I say other than it was just poor. The same old Colts, the same old story. We just didn't turn up for the second half. We know Pittsburgh and Mike Tomlin's teams are tough teams. They are always going to be physically, mentally tough teams to beat. And we just was too busy dancing in the end zone, which is great when you're winning. But it's also annoying because where was that energy in the second half? And we're going to get into, is the team to blame or is the coaching to blame? Now, personally, if you just ask me, the coaches are to blame. You can't go in 24-7 up with, I think it was 9 minutes left in the third, and throw away that lead. That is just not good enough. Especially if we're going to go into the playoffs, it's not good enough. We just didn't turn up the second half. I mean, 3 points in the second half is pathetic. Some dodgy officiating. I don't want to sit here and blame it on the officials because we were awful in the second half. And, congratulations to the Pittsburgh Steelers, to everyone apart from Eric Ebron, who, believe it or not, I had a lot of respect for Ebron when he left. He demanded a bigger paycheck and he'd had a season to demand a bigger paycheck. Unfortunately, we couldn't keep him. I don't think that was a franchise fault. I don't think that was his fault. It's just with a team we was looking to build, Ebron and cap space, it just wouldn't have worked. But for me, when he did score, I was gutted and annoyed. But then he did the petty, waving at our sideline. I thought it just left a bad taste in my mouth. And I can enjoy getting beat in a good football game, and that was a good football game. And sometimes you have to take the L. But when he's doing petty stuff like that, I lost a bit of respect for him there. Hopefully this doesn't kill our season. There is going to be one team at 10-5 who will miss out on the playoffs, and that's a scary thought for the AFC. I think it just proves how strong the AFC is at the minute. What I did like was, why did we go away from running the ball? You tell me. Frank Reich come out and said we had to check out of runs and stuff like that, but Jonathan Taylor's a tough guy, an explosive guy, and a powerful guy. And we should have managed the game better, but the game's over with. There's not much we can do about it now. We just have to concentrate on next week. Hopefully the Jags don't stop tanking, even though they've already secured the number 1 pick. I hope they rest all the starters and gives a nice, easy game. It's not going to be easy because it's the Colts and it's going to be tense. And hopefully, Aaron Rodgers did us a massive favour last night, just absolutely destroying Tennessee. So, yeah, disappointing loss to start off the show. But let's be bright about things. Let's look on the bright side of things. Let's move on because we've lost now. There's nothing you can do about it. I just want to quickly check our record up. What are we? 10-5? Yeah, 10-5, which in any other season is a fantastic record and probably would have us at the top of the division. Now, let's be honest. Pittsburgh were 11-3 going into that game, who were a very, very good team. And we choked it in the end, and that happens. So let's hope that's our one choke. Let's hope we can go into next week, get a good win. And let's hope that Baltimore, Browns, or Dolphins, I think, one of them teams can do us a favour. So if we're going to break down this game a bit, okay, start with the good. The good was we were fantastic in the first half. We really did make a really good team look bang average in the first half. Jonathan Taylor, fantastic. Our offensive line was missing its 2 starting tackles, and we still did really well in the first half to dominate that line of scrimmage. Wide receivers, Zach Pascal, again, stepping up, having another consistent and solid game. T.Y. Hilton still getting a couple of catches, still making people fall over, still making people look silly. And Mike Pittman looks amazing. And Jack Doyle, again, is proving his worth as a great tight end. And Philip Rivers, I know a lot of people are going to turn around and say he was awful in the second half. He only got 3 points. I do expect him to do better, so the blame's not off him. But in that first half, Philip Rivers looked like the Philip Rivers we've seen over the past couple of games, which is the Philip Rivers of 3 years ago. In the second half, he wasn't protected as well. That again is with a makeshift. That again is with a makeshift offensive line. 1 second. Again, I'll just start replying to my co-host. So quick audible here. This is just going to be a quick little show, and then in a couple of hours, I'm going to do a proper show with my co-host Xavier, who is, an absolute legend at bailing me out at the minute because I left him in the dry a bit with only telling him about half an hour ago that I was doing a video. So we're going to do one in a couple of hours, but I'm going to still talk on this one for a bit, and then I'm going to come back in a couple of hours and do a proper show. So back into it, yeah. Philip Rivers wasn't protective, and that was with a makeshift O-line in front of him. Going up against one of the best front fours in the league and one of the best rushers in the league, TJ Watt. And what was baffling to me is we had Chaz Green, who, although he probably is a great guy, is not Braden Smith Anthony Costanzo, Quentin Nelson, Ryan Kelly level. And it showed. And we didn't double team TJ Watt enough, and it really exposed us. Getting into the good side of the defense, first half, nobody wants to come up against that defense. I actually thought Matt Eberflus was proving me wrong here and absolutely making me eat humble pie. And in the first half, brilliant. Went a bit more scripted with the blitzes, brung a few more blitzes, brung a bit more pressure, a bit less predictable instead of just rushing forward, because Pittsburgh are a team who like to throw underneath. And when they have receivers like Juju and he's the young lad, Chase Claypool, they can run curls and slants and flats all day, and it rips you apart. And in the second half, we just didn't adapt to that, and that's completely on Matt Eberflus. Now, there was one, I think it was Kyrie Willis, was an obvious play call, obvious pass interference, which I couldn't defend because he had him round the neck. But there was ones that was ridiculous. I was under the assumption if the ball was tipped, it couldn't be a pass interference because it's no longer catchable. Kenny Moore should have had a pick six if he wasn't, if he wasn't pass interfered against, if that's the right wording of it. And arguably T.Y. Hilton should have had one at the end, but I think that one is maybe just grasping at straws a bit, because the officials weren't just bad from a Colts point of view, they was a bad from the game point of view. And I think as fans, we really expect a better standard of NFL refereeing to keep the game flowing better. And there was just some random flags in there that I thought was, we got away with one. On that last drive, when T.Y. Hilton did get called against passing, got a PI flag against Pittsburgh. I don't think that was. I thought we got a bit lucky there. But again, I think it was Quentin Nelson or Ryan Kelly, maybe, I can't remember, a block in the back. The block was already completed. The player stood no chance of getting near Jonathan Taylor. And, I mean, sometimes you just got to let him play. It's a physical game. It is going to be a physical game against Pittsburgh. And it just seems like the refs didn't want to let him play. I understand they have a hard job, and the loss wasn't on the refs. The loss was completely on us. We messed it up. We choked. We was horrible in the second half, and we deserve nothing less than the loss. But I expect a better standard of refereeing. Playoff hopes moving into next week. We do need some teams to win for us. Thankfully, the Titans beat the Packers. I'll talk about that later with Xavier. I'll talk more about Colts later with Xavier. Again, this has just been a quick show. Mainly because I got a new mic, which I had to test, and also because the lack of organisational skills has left my co-host in the dry. So when I next see him, I'm going to have to apologise, and then we can get on with the show. So see you all in a couple of hours.